Okay, now, yeah, this actually comes from the Honderkloof nickel prospect. You can actually see that it's basically mafic rocks. Looks like a pyroxenite or a gabbro or something like that. If you take a look at the core, you see that there is pyroxene, a little bit of plagioclase. In this case, you can actually see that there are sulfides, sort of blebs of sulfides disseminated throughout the rock, okay, which is why they've actually now cut it in half. So after logging, after the geologist has logged, basically they take note of the fact that there are sulfides in here and their proportion and what sort of texture they have. So for example, here it would be blebs of sulfide aligned with the foliation, for example, and what sort of sulfide it is. In this case it's pyrrhotite, so that's ideal because you would find nickel associated with pentlandite, which occurs as exsolution lamellae within the pyrrhotite. So obviously there's some sort of potential here. So what they do then is they saw it in half. Half remains behind in the core tray for reference. Okay, for future reference, should they want to go back and check what has been done, or if the geologist who logged it actually did it properly. Okay, and the other half gets sent to the geochemical lab for analysis or for assays. Okay, so they'll melt down the rock and test how much of the element of interest, whether it's nickel, copper, platinum, gold, whatever, is in the rock. You can see in this case they've actually cut quarter cores. Okay, so obviously the bottom half kept for reference, and then they've had these two. In this case they'll take the half core and send that for analyses, and they will keep a quarter in the tray, and the other quarter will then go, for example, to be cut for thin sections. Okay, so for example, master students like Marceline or James, when they worked on the Platte Reef, they basically are working on quarter cores like that. Okay, that were taken for their geochemical analyses and for thin section. Typically when they actually sample it, they will again decide from a certain particular marker horizon where they want to start sampling. Like in the Merensky Reef, they'll start 20 centimeters above the upper chromatite, and they will end about a meter or so below the lower chromatite seam, for example. They typically will make the sample 20 centimeters long throughout, just to be consistent. Okay, as you can see here, this area is all highly mucked up. Okay, so you've actually had quite a lot of core loss in this region over here, also where all the sulfides are, as it turns out. Anything else to say? Obviously you can see in this portion it's quite a lot of fractures and quite closely spaced fractures, which has led to a lot of alteration associated with the mineralization in an area. Probably things like chloritization or serpentinization. Okay, any questions?
Dr. Bailie?
Yep.
It's over at this point. I'll show that to you. I left one here, you another.
Yeah. This actually looks like just quartz.
Yes, like a vein.
Made of quartz.
It's because it's going down.
Yeah, well, it's obviously cutting. It's in the actual core, so you've seen it throughout the diameter of the core.
I think there's a light one somewhere.
Okay, you can see that there are sulfides.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
A blip of sulfide.
Once you wipe off all the muck. That there are sulfides within there, but they're small disseminated blebs. So obviously, I think in this case, they didn't actually encounter massive sulfides, they encountered these blebs, which is why they've sampled over quite a long distance here. This is quite a few meters if you think about it. Can't exactly read it. Looks like 118.89, something like that. This has been worn away because it's been sitting in the sun too long. But typically you have about how many? 6 to 6.5 or 7 meters of core here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7 meters of core within a tray. Okay, it might be easier if we just sort of break up into the groups, and then we can actually just go through each group, helping them to see what needs to be done when you log core. This is just basic introduction. Okay. Sorry, 8 people per tray. Okay, 8 people per tray.